Education is meant to be a place of growth, a space where dreams are nurtured and futures are shaped. But for many women and girls, the journey through higher education has not always been safe. Sexual and gender-based violence, often hidden in silence, has shaped experiences, limited voices, and challenged dignity. For years, many suffered in silence, afraid to speak, afraid to be judged, afraid not to be heard. But today, a new story is unfolding. Through the Building Respect and Anti-Violence Education in Tertiary Institutions initiative implemented by Sierra Leone, with support from BMZ through WHH, change is taking root across Sierra Leone.
Women, power, men, support.
In lecture halls, in policies, and in conversations, a culture of awareness, protection, and empowerment is emerging.
So the BRAVE project is being implemented in 70 states and in 10 universities across the 70 states. So the project is being supported by BMZ through WHH and is being implemented by Sierra Leone. So the aim of the project is to ensure that we have a safe and secure learning environment, especially for women and girls, where the tertiary institutions have been free from gender-based violence issues. So this project is being implemented now. It started its implementation since 2024 and it will end in 2028. It's a 4 years project. And for the past years, we have come a long way in terms of our project implementation, the achievement and successes. So one of few of successes has to do with the creation of series of structures within the institution, such as the advisory committee. And this advisory committee are being made up of stakeholders within the universities, that is the lecturers, the DVC, and other key student bodies. And they are responsible to ensure that they relay informations around GBV issues, refer them to the various referral pathways that are within the districts in which we work with. And then also we have ensured to establish the peer educator groups, and these groups are being made up of students from all cadres, that is from the first year to the final year. And they are responsible to ensure that there is effective awareness, engage peer-to-peer, colleagues within the institution on and around GBV issues. And also we have ensured to have series of engagement with stakeholders such as the Ministry of Gender, the Ministry of Tertiary Education, the Ministry of Social Welfare. We have series of engagement, we have series of districts engagement and coordinations that we have embarked on, and we also ensure to work effectively and liaise with the Rainbow Initiative, because we believe that working with these various bodies will also enable us to be able to creating that safe learning environment for our students within those educational environments. We've also tried to see how we can work around some of these policies that we already have, that is already existing within the institution. Hence we have gone this far to even conduct the gender and power analysis, because I think this is one of the key barriers when it comes to gender issues, the power relations. You see that people who are in the higher cadres in terms of positioning, they tend to take advantage for those who are below them. And also, one of our key focus that I want to see also has to do with the policies. How are these policies being implemented, and how can we review them to strengthen them? So that's why we are working strongly and effectively with the Ministry of Gender and Ministry of Tertiary Education to see how we can have a unified policy within the institution Of course, in our work, we believe in sustainability. We don't just want to implement, we want to see how sustainable our implementations are, even after the roundup of every program that we have. So one of our key sustainability strategies is in terms of the stakeholders' involvement. We believe when stakeholders are involved, or even beneficiaries or participants that you work with, when they are involved in your programming, you see the buy-in, you see the acceptance, and you see the willingness of them moving ahead, even with or without your interventions. So for us, I think that is one of our key areas. And also, one of our sustainability measures is also to ensure that we have structures in place, tangible structures. One has to deal with, having a secretariat that, students can easily reach out to make their complaints, to talk about issues affecting them around gender-based violence within their campuses. And also, we are even working again on development of an app, an online reporting app, where students can easily just tap in, make their reports and all of that. So we are also working with one of the key tertiary institutions to ensure that this comes to light. And when every planning and every engagement is done, then we're going to have the launch of that app, which will give access to every student to easily make their inputs, make complaints where necessary, and then those who are key stakeholders who are responsible to take actions will easily track and then ensure that actions are being taken effectively. We believe in stakeholders' ownership. We believe in stakeholders' buy-in of whatever ideas we have. So our focus is sustainability, because this project is for the university, and the universities should take ownership and should own it by all means, and even the ministries and government agencies that we are working with.
At the University of Makeni, safeguarding is no longer just a concept, it is a practice. The introduction of a sexual and gender-based violence safeguarding policy is transforming how cases are reported and how survivors are supported.
Well, the purpose of that policy is mainly to ensure that both our students and staff comply to the rules of to protect each other, because in terms of gender-based violence, it's not just students to lecturer, also the policy covers that students to students, there is violence between students to students, gender-based violence. It can be even female to female students and male to female, and then we have even staff to staff. And well, we push the idea, I will say, through our interaction with Saint Salon, through the Brave Project. The safeguarding policy safeguard everybody, and everybody that interacts with us, whether you're a community member, we have expatriates, our partners, they are all protected under that policy. The support of the Brave Project has helped us to be able to provide more training to both the staff, capacity building for both the staff and the students, and also bringing us more closer to the partners like law enforcers and support program organizations like the Rainbow and FSU and the Ministry of Gender. We have now face-to-face dialogue before we meet them in outside programs.
Well, as a legal person, I'm part of the disciplinary committee, the university's disciplinary committee, and that committee is instituted to ensure that all disciplinary issues ranging from malpractice, from abuse, and what have you, are being done. So being part of that, I've always given my legal services, my legal expertise, interpreting the law and ensuring that all those trials are done fairly, and all those who are being summoned to attend those hearings are being treated with equal length. So far, the Brave Project has created so much impact in the university. Like I earlier mentioned, one, It is through the advocacy of the Brave Project that we have the safeguarding policy to a large extent has influenced the university's response to SGBV. And because the purpose of the policy first is to ensure we prevent abuse, we prevent harm, and we prevent exploitation of students in all forms, whether sexual, whether financial, and every other form. So the university's approach in preventing this is one to ensure that all staff of the universities signs this policy, that the university is saying we are not in support of anything that anyone does against any student, and if anyone perpetrates or abuse or exploits any student, that person will be handed over to the law and the law takes its course. So
here, policy is not just written, it is working. Students are beginning to trust the system. They are speaking up, knowing they will be heard.
I feel very comfortable and then I feel at ease because I believe us as an institution upholding such principles or policies about eradicating gender-based violence or school-related gender-based violence, I believe this will help us to provide an environment wherein women can learn, women can develop, and women can achieve their potential and no longer stay in shadows or expecting boys to fill in the gaps for them, but rather they'll be taking up these things as a challenge upon themselves. The Brave Project has also enlightened my understanding about what it means to be a girl who speaks up for others that do not have the voice to talk for themselves, and also what it means for a girl to be empowered, because when you empower the girl, they say you've empowered the entire nation.
In Kenema, at the Eastern Technical University, change is happening through dialogue.
At first, they were so afraid to speak up, especially when we have gathering where we have administrative staffs and the students. They were so afraid to speak up, and some of them even think, like example, lecturer touching them is a normal something. But through the trainings we have been giving them, they have built up this confidence. Now they can speak up, talk about issues, and they have break the barriers. At first, when students and lecturers are in a training session, the students will be so intimidated, they will not say anything. But since we have been giving them so many trainees and awareness, now they have built their confidence. Now they talk freely without even the administrative staff having issues with them.
Through targeted training sessions, students are becoming advocates. Peer educators are leading conversations once considered too difficult to have. Knowledge is spreading and confidence is growing.
So for each year when the students enroll at the university, the day of the orientation is the only day that the university administration will teach the incoming students, the new intake students, about these SGBV issues. But now with the help of Brave Projects, every now and then we as peer educators on campus used to take tour class to class, and even when we meet students sitting into the university gardens, we do talk to them, we do educate them, we do tell them that there is a project on campus called the Brave Project, implemented by Tertiary with a funding support from BMZ and WHH, Wetonga Haifi. And the project is about sexual and gender-based violence, and the project is actually of essence to us because before this time students were scared of speaking up, because if you speak up you will think that the lecturer that you are having issue with, or maybe your colleague student, will give you problem in the university at the end of the day. But now that we have the Brave Project, no one is scared of speaking up. Even the Brave Project have helped improve the relationship between the administration and even the academic staff. We now know our boundaries, we know our rights, we know what as an administration is supposed to tell us that we are supposed to do and the ones that we are not supposed to do.
Through mentorship from the Brave Project, more women are stepping forward, not just to participate, but to lead. At Furabay College, change is being driven by leadership. For the first time, a young woman, Esther Thorley, stands as president of the Gender Equity Society. Her leadership represents more than a title. It is a symbol of progress, of possibility, and of inclusion.
So what inspires me is that for almost 1 year now, going to 2 years, I have been part of this BRAVE project, and I've learned so much from the trainings that we've had, the workshop, the seminars and everything. I've learned that we women, we should take up leadership, and through the project, I've also identified myself that I have to be the first female elected president at the Department of the Gender Equity Society. Reason being, the society basically started up for women and girls, and we reach out to gender equality, women's empowerment and so on. And that is what basically this BRAVE project is all about. So since I've learned so much from the BRAVE project, I was 100% inspired for me to contest for this position, and I am now the president.
Essentially, women are supposed to have their own part in governance. When I say governance, I'm not just referring to the public sector, I'm referring to all sectors, you know. So it's essential that women take their role. I have seen women succeed. For example, I'm a pastor also, and the ministry that I pastor is led by a woman. So I understand the nature and the abilities of women, and women are very, very essential in society. So as such, if we have someone heading the SGBP here as a woman, it's quite okay.
At Anesbai Koroma University in Maburaka, awareness begins from day one. Sexual and gender-based violence education has been integrated into student orientation and learning. From the very start of their academic journey, students are equipped with knowledge about respect, boundaries, and their rights.
You know, the orientation program is the entry point for very new students, and it's like to be forewarned is to be forearmed. When you have the appropriate information, you know how to take an appropriate action. And young students coming into the university, they are a bit naive, innocent, and the rest. And if they come into the university with limited knowledge how to manage the self, then they will fall victim immediately they come inside. Because don't forget, they are young girls, they want to explore. So BRAVE coming in with this project to sensitize young people how to manage themselves, how to identify sexual-based violence. They will be well armed to stop that when they see one.
There was no awareness raising before Saint Sierra Leone came in with this BRAVE project. We did not aware about any policy that was existing before, but with the help of Saint Sierra Leone through BMZ and WHH, we have done that. We are doing it, sensitizing students, telling them about sexual and gender-based violence.
Across these institutions, a powerful movement is taking shape. A movement where students feel safer, where voices are heard, where awareness replaces ignorance and empowerment replaces fear. Step by step, conversation by conversation, change is happening. Together, we are creating safer spaces for women and girls in education. Together, we are building respect. Together, we are ending violence.